2013's Beware the Batman is both praised and derided for focusing on obscure villains from Batman's rogues gallery. They foregoed heavy hitters like the Joker and Catwoman in favour of more recent villains like Professor Pig and Magpie. Having said that, the first half of the series was building to the threat of a very well-known villain, Ghul. As the head of the League of Assassins, he commanded the support of an army of loyal fanatics, from the hundreds of basic grunts to the mighty Lady Shiva, but not all of his underlings were quite so dedicated to his cause. Take for instance, Silver Monkey. Like many of the villains seen in the show, he was animal-themed and a master fighter, but he was not a loyal soldier. Instead, he had ambitions of his own that would wind up costing him everything. This version of Silver Monkey bore very little similarity to his comic book counterpart, which is generally a recurring theme in Beware the Batman. They took the core concept of these obscure characters and instead went in a different direction with them. To illustrate this, let's talk about his comic book counterpart. Silver Monkey first appeared in Detective Comics number 685 back in 1995. He was a hired assassin that targeted King Snake, with Batman and Robin caught in the middle. Despite his debut in a Batman book, I don't think it'd be entirely accurate to call him a Batman villain though. His real story unfolds across the pages of Green Arrow, where he became one of Connor Hawke's fiercest rivals. It's usually Batman that pinches other characters' villains, so it was nice to see it go the other way for a change. Little is known about his past except that his martial prowess was so extraordinary that he was recruited into the Monkey Fist cult, a deadly order of assassins who value skill above all else. So there's your first major difference there. He wasn't a member of the League of Assassins, he was part of a monkey-themed cult from Asia. Within their ranks, Silver Monkey rose quickly, becoming second only to the mysterious Paper Monkey, later revealed to be Lady Shiva herself. That should tell you just how deadly this man was. Silver Monkey's path eventually crossed with Connor Hawke, the second Green Arrow and son of Oliver Queen. When Connor's sensei lost his home, he fought against Silver Monkey to win it back. Their first meeting was a brutal, one-sided affair. Silver Monkey outclassed Connor completely, handing him one of his greatest defeats to date. But the rematch told a different story. Hired by Connor's stepfather, Silver Monkey fought him again, but this time it was even more personal. After a long and punishing battle, Connor finally managed to turn the tide, handing Silver Monkey his first recorded defeat. Rather than kill him, Connor spared his life. This was a mercy that only deepened the Silver Monkey's shame though. He returned to the Monkey Fist cult in disgrace, as seen in the Brotherhood of the Fist storyline, where he was imprisoned by the cult and a legion of other monkeys attempted to reclaim their honour. For all his skill, Silver Monkey's end came not in an honourable duel though, but in a hail of bullets. At the kickoff of the War Games crossover, he was hired as a bodyguard for a triad leader, and when the gangs went to war, Scarface gunned him down mid-charge. A warrior's life ended by a puppet's gun. Isn't that kind of sad? Now, Beware the Batman took this relatively obscure character and gave him a prominent role in the first half of the series. Their Silver Monkey was a high-ranking member of Ra's al Ghul's League of Assassins, and he had somewhat of a rivalry with their leader Lady Shiva. He was a powerful fighter, a master of disguise, and armed himself with a blow-dart gun and retractable claws on his hands and feet. What makes him noteworthy is that he had his own unit of special forces, as indicated by their slightly different uniform. In the League of Assassins, a person's rank seems to be determined by their outfit. Black ninja outfits at the bottom, with brightly coloured unique costumes at the top. Silver Monkey seems to sit somewhere in the middle. He crossed paths with Batman after the League tried to kidnap Jason Burr, the creator of the Ion Cortex, a device that would help generate and manage the world's power supply. But Silver Monkey was more closely connected to Katana. A lot of their story is told off-screen. The tie-in comics allude to the fact that he had trained her when she went undercover at the League of Assassins to find Ra's al Ghul. Along the way, she discovered the Soul Taker Sword, a powerful artifact that had been used for over 1,000 years to steer the course of human destiny. Katana stole the sword, which contained the soul of Ra's al Ghul at the time, by the way, setting a huge fire that the League believed had claimed her life and destroyed the sword. So when Silver Monkey found out that Katana was alive and that the sword was intact, he saw this as his opportunity to strike out on his own. He knew he'd never control the League so long as Ra's al Ghul was around, so when he returned to Lady Shiva with his tail between his legs, he told her about finding Katana, but neglected to mention that the Soul Taker sword was intact. He planned to take the sword for himself and use it to seize control of the League. He planned to force Katana into handing over the sword by threatening to murder Bruce Wayne. He and his accomplice Dr. Stephanie Ravencroft lured Wayne to the exclusive Argus Club, presented as an elite members-only society that was the front for the League of Assassins, and then held him hostage. Sadly, for Silver Monkey anyway, nothing happens in the League of Assassins without Lady Shiva knowing about it, and their forces feared her far more than they feared him. Even when they use his own blow darts against him, he's still a great fighter and takes out many of the basic grunts, but eventually he succumbs. And there is a reason why Lady Shiva is the head of the League. She is just too powerful and sadistic. She opted not to drain his soul from him though. It's a fate that she didn't spare Dr. Ravencroft from. Instead, she planned to keep him prisoner and break his spirit. When Shiva succeeded in reviving Ra's al Ghul and he took control of Gotham, Batman was put in the League's prison alongside Silver Monkey. The pair initially came to blows, but it was more of a way of passing the time than an actual conflict. After Batman got the better of him, Silver Monkey became pretty cooperative, explaining their dire situation. Their cell was encased in concrete, deep below ground, with triple-rolled steel bars and an unpickable German lock. Still, Batman has a plan for everything. When they escaped from their jail, Silver Monkey was surprised that Batman didn't want to join him in heading for the exit. Batman needed to go back into the fray and stop the Ion Cortex from being misused. For his cooperation, Silver Monkey was given his freedom, but it wouldn't be given so freely if they were to cross paths again. At first it seemed like Silver Monkey fled, but when Batman was overcome by Lady Shiva and her forces, Silver Monkey dramatically arrived, saving the day. For Silver Monkey, it wasn't an act of heroism though. He hadn't seen the light or decided to become a hero. Instead, he felt he owed a debt to Batman, one he wanted to pay immediately by kicking him in the gut and sending him to safety. There's also the fact that he sought revenge on Lady Shiva for humiliating him and effectively killing Dr. Ravencroft. There are some interesting parallels between Lady Shiva and Silver Monkey. They're both skilled fighters that command respect within the League of Assassins, but where Lady Shiva is a devout follower of Ra's al Ghul, Silver Monkey is more pragmatic. When Ra's was thought to be dead, Lady Shiva led the League of Assassins in memory of him, following his plan even though she believed he'd never see it brought to fruition. When she learned that the Soul Taker sword was intact, and therefore so was Ra's soul, she stopped at nothing to bring him back. Silver Monkey, however, had his own ambitions. He went along with Shiva's plans, but he sought to overthrow her through trickery. When he was exposed, he was defeated by the Loyalists and thrown into a deep, dark prison. Upon escaping, he sought to defeat Shiva in battle, to finally prove his superiority. However, he was no match for her. We didn't see his defeat. Instead, Lady Shiva is seen later carrying his mask, and she throws it at Alfred and Katana's feet, as if he were an afterthought. It's safe to assume that she used the Soul Taker sword on him, but it was never confirmed either way. In many ways, Silver Monkey embodies the core tension of Beware the Batman. The show took obscure characters and reimagined them in ways that feel fresh, while still honouring their essence. He's undeniably a villain, sure, but he's also pragmatic, capable of loyalty when it suits his goals, and not entirely without a moral code. His story contrasts sharply with Lady Shiva, whose devotion to Ra's al Ghul is absolute. Where Shiva's power and fanaticism drives her, Silver Monkey's ambition drives him, and ultimately it's that ambition that leads to his downfall. He's a reminder that in the world of Batman, and the League of Assassins too I guess, skill and intelligence can only take you so far. Without discipline, loyalty, or an understanding of the forces around you, even the deadliest fighter can be undone. In the end, Silver Monkey is defined by his complexity. A martial artist with his own goals, a schemer who could strike from the shadows, and a foil to the unwavering devotion of Lady Shiva. He may not be a household name, but the series gives him weight, showing viewers a glimpse of a villain who's as clever and dangerous as he is human. It's this blend of skill, ambition, and stubborn pride that makes him compelling. He was a fighter, striving to define his own legacy in the shadow of giants. Okay, that's it for this week's essay. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, tell all your friends about me. You know how YouTube works. If you really enjoyed the video and have the means, please consider making use of the thanks button to send a buck or two my way, because every little helps. I offer channel memberships for $1.99 a month. This will get you early access to my weekly video essay, priority responses to your comments, members-only videos, custom emojis, and an icon on your profile indicating that you're one of my people. And special thanks to my channel members. Everyone who was a member at the time of this video's creation is listed on the screen right now. If you want to see your name amongst all these wonderful people, join the channel now. Next time. When I return on Friday, I'm going to talk about someone that started out with a legitimate grudge and used his powers to seek revenge, but as time went on he saw the error of his ways and reformed. We're going to talk about the rubber band man from Static Shock. And next Monday I want to go back to an early episode of Batman the Animated Series that appears near the bottom of fan tier lists. But I don't think it's as terrible as people think. I want to talk about Cat Scratch Fever. Hope to see you then.